Hey, what's up everybody? I'm TridentZ here with another Escape from Tarkov video. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some effective gun builds that aren't going to cost you a lot of money. Now, quick disclaimer, for these gun builds, you will be needing at least level 4 skier and mechanic. It's recommended that you also have level 3 prepper and level 3 peacekeeper. And that's just to make these parts as cheap as possible. You can find ways around it. It's totally possible, and I'll be going over it through the entire video. Also, a quick reminder that down in the description below is the gun builds themselves. So if you guys want to go and take a look at that, that's totally possible. You don't have to watch the entire video over. But those of you who want to stick around for my suggestions, be sure to do so. Also, in the description, you'll find our Discord and my Twitch. And if you guys want to check that out as well, we would love to have you there. And you'll also find the timestamps for the two builds we're going to be talking about today. With all that said, let's get straight into it. All right, so first let's talk about the MP7. Now, the MP7 is a great gun in Escape from Tarkov because it starts off with a low recoil and it already has a great ergo and it's an SMG. Also, the ammo is very easy to buy and you'll find it all over the place. If you don't have Peacekeeper level 3, it will cost a little bit extra, but you can buy 250 rounds for around 70k rubles from Peacekeeper level 3. And you'll be wanting to buy the FMJ SX. That we can see here at Peacekeeper level 3, FMJ SX. You can buy 250 rounds for $543, which equates to around 70k rubles. And those are my recommendations for the ammo. Now let's get into the MP7. So in the game, we have two different MP7s. One is a tan version, one is a black. The tan version is the A2, while the black is the A1. The main difference we can notice is that the A1 does not have a foregrip attachable, while the A2 does. You can attach your own foregrip. They do have the same base stats, but whenever putting on a different foregrip, it'll make the stats a little bit different. Besides that, the MP7 is really easy to mod out as it only takes a suppressor in the game. There isn't much else you can do, and you can slap on the suppressor with a stock compensator, and it'll take down the recoil to around 44. I also recommend having a shift if you're running an MP7 A2. If you're running an MP7 A1, you can totally just run it with the suppressor and 40 round mags from mechanic level 4, and you'll be just fine. For foregrips, I wouldn't recommend going with anything that has a hit on the ergo. I would highly recommend just sticking to an ergo based foregrip because there isn't a lot of room to mess with recoil on the MP7. The recoil is already pretty low. Also, the sights are totally preference, but with the MP7, I find because of its accuracy and close quarters situations, I like the PK06. You can totally run hollows with this. It's totally fine, and you can run some other red dots like the Trigicon SRS. That's also fine. And there's some mounts you can run with. You know, you can mess around with it if you just click on right click, edit preset, and look at the different sights you can run. But I do recommend the PK06 with this build. And the entire build minus the sight of your choice will be around 160k, and the ammo is pretty cheap like we went over before. If you want to save a little bit more money, you can totally run the MP7 A1, which is on the flea market for around 20k cheaper than the MP7 A2. As we can see here, the MP7 A2 is 77k, while the MP7 A1 was under 50k. And like I said, the foregrip doesn't make a huge difference. If you're not planning on running a shift, you can totally save some money off just buying an MP7 A1. And for the complete parts list, it's down below in my description. You can find an imager, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's there, and you can click on it, look at all the different parts on the edit preset. With the MP7 out the way, now is time for my personal favorite gun to run right now in the game, and that's the Ak103. The Ak103 shoots 7.62 by 39 rounds and is a great option for the intermediate to end game PvP. What I like about the Ak103 is it's a rifle that comes with great ergo already, so all you have to do is take a hit on the recoil and it performs just fine. And I know you guys might be thinking the 7.62 by 39 weapons do have a lot of recoil. As we can see here, the meta Ak103 is a 66 recoil. But when it's in practice, it's not going to be that bad, especially in the close quarters. You're already there. It's not a huge difference. And if you're pretty decent at the game, you'll be able to manage with the recoil. Even if you're not that great at the game, the recoil isn't too bad. And here on the Ak103, basically all I've done is I've chose the cheapest options while also giving the absolute meta, so it doesn't get better than this. 66 recoil is as good as it gets. Instead of an RK3 for 9k, I went with the Scorpius pistol grip that's 6k, but don't worry guys, the ergo difference between the Scorpius and the RK3 is non-existent. As we can see here on the bottom left, the RK3 offers the exact same. whenever we're looking at the stats. And the Scorpius is a little cheaper. Obviously 3K is not a whole lot, but it's just one of the parts of these builds that help you save a little bit more money. Also, for the compensator, we ran with the JMac. If you guys want to go suppressed, I wouldn't recommend it with this build just because the recoil would be a little too high. That's why I went with the JMac that offers minus 15 recoil. And then I've also went with the PT3 stock that offers the best recoil reduction in the game for the AK103. You guys might be a little hesitant on me running the Bastion for 6K, and you might be saying the Fab Defense is a whole lot better. But as you can see here, the Fab Defense doesn't offer better recoil. In fact, it only makes your ergo worse. And the Bastion is only 6K, while the Fab Defense happens to be 18K from traders. So you're saving a whole 12K, and you're even getting a better ergo. And I see no reason to run the Fab Defense. I see a lot of people run this on their meta builds. It's almost pointless to me because the Bastion only costs 6K. And as you can see here, even if you don't have the traders required for it, it's even cheaper off the flea market. Here's going to be the final look at the AK103. There were some parts that I didn't mention, like the handguard and of course the charging handle, but you'll be able to find it in the description down below with the entire parts list, and you'll be able to see it. And here's a quick run through. You can pause if you'd like of the entire parts list as well. All right, for this next part, I'm also going to be teaching you guys how to build these weapons, and we'll start off with the MP7. So for the MP7, all you need to do is unfold the stock, and it's pretty easy. All you need to do is drag and drop everything onto the gun. You can drag and drop the foregrip, the sight, and you can also drag and drop the suppressor. Granted, if you don't have the compensator that comes with the gun off the flea market, you're going to have to buy that, but most of the time it's going to come with it and you can just drag and drop it. And of course, you can drag and drop the magazine, and that's the entire build. As for the AK103, it does get a little bit complicated, but it's not that hard whenever you break it down. All you're going to need to do is take off the pistol grip, take off the compensator, take off the dust cover, the iron sight, and of course the handguard. And then you can pretty much drag and drop everything else. Take off the stock as well. You can start off with the PT lock, then the stock, then the Bastion. You can throw on the Scorpius, the JMac, and then you can also throw on the handguard. Then you can also throw on the inch guide, that's going to be your foregrip adapter. Throw on the RK2, then you can throw on your PKO6, and here you have it, the entire build. All right, for this next part of the video, I'm going to be demonstrating the recoil on it. I'm going to be managing the recoil at the same time so you guys can see realistically how good the recoil is going to be in game. As you can see with the MP7, the recoil is almost non-existent. With that 40 recoil, you're basically having a meta recoil gun. And here is the AK103. And as you guys saw, the AK103 does have a little bit of kick, but in the close quarters, it's not going to be too bad. In the medium to long range, it can be a problem and you might want to tap. But overall, it's not that bad, especially when you take into account how the ammo pens level 4 and level 5 pretty easily and is a 2-shot to the chest. All right, that's going to conclude today's video. Hopefully these builds helped, and I hope you guys start to run these in your games. These are great builds to try to get yourself into the end game if you're not entirely that familiar with the great guns in Tarkov. This can be a great gateway to the meta HKs and the vectors and whatnot of the end game. These two guns are great for the price and perform amazing, and I hope you guys have some luck with these in your raids. As always, have a blessed day, take care, and thank you for watching.